edition of our Watch Along on Premier Sport Fans Center. And today we are moving back to club football. We have a lot of interest now back. We got the first goal for Brighton in that game. It is now Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. And that game is already lighting up. And just 20 minutes already in the game, it's the former homeboy, talking about the former Old Trafford young player, Danny Welbeck, who got the first goal for Brighton. And like we know, Fulham are at home against Luton. It's still 0-0 in that game. And like we rightly said, Manchester United against Brighton. It's currently Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. And the game between Tottenham and Sheffield is also on in 22nd minute. It's 0-0 in that encounter. While West are just firing against all cylinders today. It's 3-0 at halftime against Augsburg, while Freiburg against Dortmund. Freiburg are 2-1 up in the first half. In another encounter, talk about the game between Wolfsburg and Union Berlin. Wolfsburg are 2 goals up right now. That encounter is 2-1 in favor of Wolfsburg. Looking focused to the game against Bayern Munich. That's going to be a tough one for Manchester United in the Champions League. But we'll be here to give you that game or Manchester United are trying to create another chance to see if they can get a goal, but Rashford will be very much disappointed as he missed that opportunity. Let's see what happened in this game. Manchester City are also trying to create an opening in the game between West Ham and 0 in that encounter. And back, it's now 3-1 in the game between Juventus and still 2-1 in the game between Lazio and Juventus. Lazio got a goal back in that game. It's now Juventus 2, Lazio 1. That game is in the 67th minute already. And you can see it's all lightening up, talking about we know Rodri for, getting those outside shots. But unfortunately, that is not going to threaten Areola, who is the West Ham goalkeeper today. Good shot from Rodri, like we saw in the Champions League final. But unfortunately, this will be going into the back of the net. Areola got a big team. They don't always find it as a problem for them. They get their victory or they get to give a good performance of themselves against the big boys in APL. It's still Manchester United 0, Brighton 1, and that game is coming from the Old Trafford, talking about Manchester United home ground. They'll be looking to get an equalizer in this game as soon as possible so as to reduce the pressure going into the Champions League fixture against Bayern Munich, because that is going to be a big one for Manchester United. And in the game is still Brighton 1, Manchester United, and still 0-0 in the game between Manchester City and West Ham. Let's see if we'll be having an opener in that game. 29 minutes already in the game. It's still, it's still just growing and getting more interesting in those encounters. As Brighton were back on the front, looking to attack massively against Manchester United, but there will be an offside flag against the young player there, as Brighton will fortunately get an offside. Okay, and finally, I have one of my guests in the studio talking about Yemite. Yemite, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Wet day in this part of the country, so I feel so good to be here.
Yeah, you feel so good to be here. Look, we can start the game between Manchester United and Brighton now on screens. Manchester United currently won't go down at home at Old Trafford against Brighton. Is this not going to be a problem for Manchester United in this game?
When we were talking about the match on Wednesday in our Talk Sports show, I was saying this is Brighton's game to lose. So it's just evident based on current form. History or what you've done in the past don't win games. They don't just win games. It's the current crop of squad that you have at hand that will win games for you. And that explains what's going on. Brighton has started like a team with a house on fire, and they've been trying to lit everybody they can up. We saw them pummeling Newcastle, I think 3 or 4 goals to 0 or thereabout. So it's one team that you can actually pinpoint as one of those teams that can do well.
Okay, Brighton are one of those teams that can do well, and the little one that they actually gave everybody a problem in the EPL last season, and that is due to the the goodness of a good coach, talking about De Zerbi, a fantastic coach who coaches Brighton currently. The game between Manchester City and West Ham is still 0-0. The Moyes boys are currently defending with all their life and still keeping Manchester City at bay. That game is currently in the 31st minute, and Manchester City, will be looking forward to getting the opener because they are
defending champions
of the EPL. And not just the EPL alone, the Champions League is there, and the FA Cup
too. So every team has that awareness the kind of team they want to play. And he's just left for, I know West Ham will want to sit back and trying to look for space to hit them on the counter.
And into very deep into the Manchester City half, but Manchester City were able to push them back into their midfield. It's still no big threat for Manchester City. For Manchester City in this game, we've not really seen much of attacking threat from West Ham. Straight to the starting 11 of some of those teams in this game. We'll be starting with the Manchester United against Brighton. Manchester United currently starts with a 4-3-1-2 formation. How do you think of this formation?
Yeah, they are 4-2-3-1 formation.
4-3-1-2 formation today.
4-3-1-2 today. Yeah. And you know that. And
that's a good shot for Manchester City, but that was a fantastic save from the goalkeeper, and that will be a corner kick to Manchester United, sorry, in the 35th minute. Good shot from Rashford, but they got that covered. A good attacking play for Manchester United. This is what they always want. You know, when you have Rashford coming in against you from the left, he takes one, a good shot, but that hits the outside. It hits the outside of the crossbar, and it's looking like Rashford might be having some trouble. As you can see him on the field, what's his VAR checking here? Is it going to be a free kick or will it be a corner kick or penalty? But Rashford is back on his foot and looking very much okay. You know, at the point this season we saw Manchester United starting Rashford as a striker, and we complained there in the studio that he's not looking at his best whenever he starts as a striker, unlike when he started from the left wing. And since he has gone back to the left wing, you know, it has been an informed Rashford. Though the goals hasn't really been like last season, but we can't cut away the doubt that he has actually been a driving force when it comes to attack for Manchester United.
Yeah, rightfully so. You know, Rashford is one of these players that likes to attack space, to move with the ball. They have the pace, they have the movement, and they have this ability to shoot at any side of goal. So these kinds of player, and that's one of the issues too Mbappe was having with PSG.
Yeah.
These kind of players, they have a lot in them than just to sit at the front and be expecting them to be fed with the ball. So bringing him away from the number 9, top brilliant decision. And you know, with Manchester United now, you know, they need to play cover. They've lost Anthony to a disciplinary issue in-house.
Yeah.
That they need to. So with those kind of situations, you just have to adjust. And any coach, with a long season, you have to be flexible. And you check your formation sometimes when one is not working.
Okay, that's a goal in the game between West Ham and Manchester City from the likely source. Fantastic goal for Manchester City, and that is what Prowse for West Ham. Sorry, goal for West Ham. I don't know what Manchester City is coming from to my mouth. Fantastic goal for West Ham against Manchester City against all odds. David Moyes' boys has taken the lead. A fantastic goal from Prowse. A good signing from Southampton. You know, when you are good, you are actually good. I don't know why your team Chelsea didn't go for this top talent. You know, you see talented players and see what they are actually bringing to the table. Why was he left alone? He was free there. A good cross there from West Ham. A good goal for West Ham. He actually sent Ederson the wrong way with that nodding. Fantastic goal for West Ham. West Ham won Manchester City 0 in the first half. And that game is on right now in the London Stadium. What do you think? You know?
Yeah, good goal. I don't know why our team.
your team. You know, there's so much talent. I actually expected Chelsea going for. We saw Madison. And there's one Prowse. How did Chelsea go age range?
Yeah, that was the issue. So Chelsea was particular about the age limit of the players they wanted, and that's why you see them getting ancestral contracts.
Okay, I'm not always say that. Yeah, might say they are getting ancestral contracts. And the game between West Ham and Manchester City. West Ham are currently leading 1-0. Both Manchester teams are currently on the losing spree at the 36th minute. It's Manchester United 0, Brighton 1, and Manchester City 0, West Ham 1 in that game in the 37th minute currently. And both teams will be happy. Talking about the both Brighton and West Ham, they'll be very much happy taking this lead into the halftime. It's Brighton who are still very much in this game. They are still dominating play and straight to Manchester United starting 11. They have their new goalkeeper, talking about Andre Onana, who has, I think he still has just one clean sheet this season for a very big goalkeeper and a top-notch goalkeeper. And don't forget, he was one of the goalkeeper, listed for the best goalkeeper in the world. That award will be coming up, and we'll be very much interested in seeing who wins the best player in Europe and the best player in the world. Yeah. Manchester United starting off with a 4-3-2-1, 4-3-1-2 formation. Onana in goal post, we have Diogo Dalot, Victor Lindelof, Lisandro Martinez, and there's a debut for Sergio Reguilon, who starts as a left back in this game. In midfield, they start with a trio of Scott McTominay, Casemiro, and Christian Eriksen. While they have a single man 10 forward, talking about Bruno Fernandes, and up front they have Marcus Rashford and the new signing, talking about Rasmus Højlund in the starting 11. Fantastic starting 11, a team beater starting 11 any day. But this is Brighton, they don't respect any big team.
Yeah, they don't respect others. That's just because Brighton is not that rich in history. They are just trying to build their own history. And when you look at these kinds of game, you know that it's a banana peel. If the coach is not careful, you can go down there.
And that's Brighton with that attack. But Manchester United were able to clear the lines, but still Brighton, who are currently on the ball, is still attacking Manchester United. It's just looking like Brighton are currently at home, but this is Old Trafford. This is Manchester United home ground, for Christ's sake. And we've not really seen Manchester United come into this game. Is it looking like there's going to be a problem for Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United?
Yeah. Last season, they were successful to some extent, but they were not really convincing. And this season is beginning to show that they were not really convincing. And Ten Hag has a lot at his hands to deal with. Honestly, he needs to find out a very, very good structural play for this Manchester United team that will seek into the new wave of football, so that they can be going to perform at the rate at which they are expected to.
Okay, again, between Juventus and Lazio is currently 3-1 right now in the 81st minute. And the third goal was scored courtesy of Dusan Vlahovic. And that game, Juventus currently leads that game 3-1. And we saw Chelsea come out to try and get and we have an equalizer in the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Is a debut goal for Højlund, and he got his first goal. He's bet in the EPL. His first goal in EPL. Fantastic goal for Rasmus Højlund. His debut goal for Manchester United. Talking about the Dane striker, and he has already laid down his marker. There was a time people compare this guy, name him the young or the slim Haaland. Do you think he will live up to that expectation?
For me, I don't think so. But he's one heck of a striker too. If we can,
and that was good movement from him there. Trying to space himself and come. That might just be. I think VR will be checking that, and good goal for him. Let's see if VR will be checking that. I'm very sure VR will be checking that. It's a VR check on that. That was actually outside. But we know VR in England to be controversial. And talking about another controversial person, I have my third guest in the studio talking about the gaffer himself, Solomon.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a nice weekend. And already we have seen beautiful football. We saw Liverpool demolition, Wolves 3-1. And here we are seeing the wonders West Ham are doing against Manchester City. And to me, it's a controversial moment. I thank God I came in at the controversial moment.
This might actually be given because the ball is not fully outside the line.
Yeah, to some extent, it's still on the line. I don't know, it's off the line. It's off the line.
That's what VAR decision will be in that game.
The referee should be cancelling that. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully, if the referee will be cancelling that out. But currently, it's Manchester United 1, Brighton 1, and that's goal for Manchester United was scored by Højlund, the new signing for Manchester United, who came in all the way from Atlanta, and that might just be the equalizer for Manchester City, but they were not able to get that equalizer as West Ham were able to clear their lines, and it's still West Ham 1, Manchester City 0 in that game. And the VAR decision is in, and it's no goal. Højlund will still be looking for his first goal for Manchester United, and you can see that on his face, but that was a good striker goal from Ojlon, no doubt.
Yeah, that was a good striker goal for Ojlon. No, what a way for him to register his goal and cancel the first debut goal, but was not given. I think it's disappointing, but anyway, it should ginger him to get more goal. I think it's a good one for him anyway.
Okay, we expect that to actually bring him up in this game. And don't forget, the early kickoff, talking about the game between Wolves and Liverpool. Ended with Liverpool winning that game. They had to dig deep in that game to win that game 3-1 against Wolverhampton. You know, at the point I was thinking Wolverhampton got that game covered. But it's Liverpool, you know, they are never alone. You never walk alone when it comes to Liverpool. And they did that in a good style, getting a 3-1 victory away from their stadium, talking about the Anfield Stadium. Away from that, in the game between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace, is currently 0-0 in the 44th minute. Fulham are still struggling against Luton. That game is still 0-0, while Manchester United are currently one goal down against Brighton in the 43rd minute. And in the 44th minute between Tottenham and Chelsea is still 0-0. West Ham are one goal up against Manchester City in the 44th minute. And still to come, we have Newcastle against Brentford this evening. That promises to be, you know, a very big encounter. Yeah. In the Spanish La Liga, Atletico Bilbao defeated Cadiz 3-0. And Valencia are still one goal up against Atletico Madrid in the 25th minute of that encounter. And in La Liga still to come, we have Barcelona against Real Betis. You know, that promises to be another great encounter as Real Betis have a talisman now, talking about Isco, who has actually been a new player since he joined Real Betis. And in this Italian Serie A, we have Juventus against Lazio. That game is in the 84th minute and it's looking like a game. Juventus have that covered because they are currently leading 3-1 against Lazio. And we have the big one still to come at 5 p.m. Inter Milan against AC Milan, talking about the Italian, the Milan derby, one of the biggest derby, if not the biggest derby when it comes to Serie A. And we still have Genoa against Napoli, where we'll be seeing Nigeria's very fine striker, talking about Victor Osimhen, who will be looking to add to his goal. And straight to the German Bundesliga, the second half has started. Coin against Hoffenheim is currently 3-0. Hoffenheim are leading away from home, while the game between Mainz and Stuttgart. Stuttgart are one goal up against Mainz in the 57th minute. Leipzig are still 3-0 up against Augsburg in the 56th minute, while Freiburg are still leading against Dortmund 2-1 in that game in the 53rd minute. Wolfsburg are 2-1 up against Union Berlin. You know, fantastic result. We are seeing a lot of goals from different centers. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It's the Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Solomon, you know, Manchester United actually need this victory. Looking forward to their game against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. So this, if they get a victory at all, it's going to be a morale booster going to that Champions League encounter. But it's looking like it's Brighton who are currently dominating play at Manchester United currently.
Actually, Manchester United, I expected them to come back with the spirit of revenge. What Arsenal did to them, because it was a disappointing outing. You know, a lot of Manchester United fans have been shouting foul, foul, that the referee was not fair. You know, but I think there is an opportunity for you to bounce back. If you say the referee was not fair, okay, now show that you are a good side by, you know, winning Brighton. But right now it's not going their way, and the way it is, if you look at what is happening right now, Brighton are able to cover up the midfield, and they are making it so difficult for the Manchester United fans to do anything. And you can see one man up and Rashford trying to create in the 18 box. He has 2 men to beat. He beat one and he crossed, and that is
that's a wayward shot from Rashford there. And that is the threat what Marcus Rashford actually brings to the game when he's playing from the left side of the wing. You know, we've actually seen a lot of opportunities from Marcus Rashford. And you don't leave him, you don't give him all this opportunity, a lot of chance, and he cuts into against his man, but that was sailing outside the goalpost, and it will threaten the Brighton goalkeeper. Straight to Brighton starting 11. They're starting their favorite 4-2-3-1 formation. What do you guys think of this formation? Talking about Brighton's formation.
Yeah, it's a formation that they've stuck with for the most part of the De Zerbi era. And when you look at it, it has worked for them. They are in their first European competition, which is the Europa League. And with the way the team is structured, the formation suits their play. They love to play a lot from the wings and counter-attacking. And they are fluid too. If they want to dominate play, they dominate play with the same formation too. So I think it's a brilliant setup from De Zerbi.
Okay, it's a brilliant setup from De Zerbi. We have the Gaffer in the studio. We don't just call him the Gaffer because we know he has those formation on his head. Though I'm not a big fan of him being a coach, I always say that. I don't really see him as a coach.
Because if I'm a coach, I will give your team 20-0. And that's when I'm from India.
Okay, we can see Brighton starting with a 4-2-3-1 formation. And Manchester United currently started this game with a 4-3-1-2 formation. What do you think, or is that the reason why Brighton are currently, dominating play against Manchester United in this game?
Well, I will not say that is the reason why. If you look at it, Manchester City, they've actually lost their midfield. But the introduction of Odlon today, I think
Manchester United.
Manchester United. You're talking about Manchester United, right?
Yeah, Manchester United.
Yeah, they've actually lost their midfield. This is not the Manchester United midfield we saw last season. This one is quite different, but they have better players, but they are not. They are not playing as a team. That they are not connecting. The link-up play is very poor. You understand what I'm saying? So they actually need to work on it. This formation right now, to me, does not suit Manchester United. They should be coming up with 4-4-2. And with that, they'll be able to get the result against that massive attack, massive defense, and massive midfield. They'll be able to get, against them, Brighton.
Okay, we know when it comes to Brighton, you are talking about a fantastic team that can eat you. They can eat you on the counter. A systematic team like I love to call Brighton. They actually work in system.
Ten Hag, if not for his caution with this formation, they might be 3 goals down by now. So he has to be defensively sensitive. That's one of the reasons why you see that kind of information. So they prefer to, because if they go toe-to-toe with Brighton and attack, by this time they will be more than, because they are a team in form. They have attackers.
Are you now saying that Brighton is better than Manchester United?
For now, now, coming from, they are better. Football is form part-time. Fine, class is permanent. Form is temporal. But as at now, the reality is, look at this guy Ferguson, their number 9. He's on fire. He's an house on fire. There's Minamino who just got the best goal of last month.
Okay, straight to Brighton starting 11. They start with Jason Stelly in goal post, talking about their current #1 goalkeeper. In the defense, they have Tariq Lamptey, talking about the former Chelsea defender. Lewis Dunk is the captain. And they have Jean-Paul Van Ecke, who pairs Lewis Dunk in the fence. And at left back, they have Joseph Veitman. In the midfield, they have the ever-present, talking about Pascal Grob and Mahmoud Daoud, who replaced Caicedo, and he's not looking out of place in that team. Up front, they have Karu Mitoma, talking about the Japanese who got the best goal last month. A fantastic winger any day. And they have the legendary Adam Lallana, who plays as a central midfielder, and there's Simon and Dingri, who plays up front in the midfield. And up front, they have just one striker, talking about Dan Welbeck, who got us the goal in this game, the only goal in the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Like I said, Monolon Rossino. And it's halftime in various centres in England. Aston Villa against Crystal Palace is 0-0 at halftime. Fulham against Luton 0-0. Manchester United at Old Trafford are currently trailing Brighton 1-0. Tottenham are still struggling to get a goal against Sheffield United at halftime. That game is 0-0, while West Ham are currently leading Manchester City 1-0 at halftime. Fantastic results we've seen in first half. We've seen Luton, hold on to Fulham in the first half. And we've seen, We've seen Sheffield United also holding Tottenham to 0-0 in first half. Do you think there's a chance for these teams to actually keep this game like this till the end of this encounter?
They have to come out with they have to be in their A game, like most especially the match between West Ham and Manchester City. Though, in our Talk Sports show, I predicted winning either half for West Ham, and it has actually happened. West Ham have actually won either half, and if you do that, you'll be getting like 3 point something odd. So that's a good one. I knew that something like this will happen, but now you have touched the tail of the lion. So for you to look for that trouble, you should be prepared. That's what will determine if West Ham will be able to hold Manchester City to the end. They have to come with their defensive brilliance and even start the defense from the midfield. That's the way they can be able to hold on Manchester, because now they are wounded. If they come the second half, it will be trouble. Like we saw the match between Wolves versus Liverpool. Wolves got the first goal. They won either half. And the second half, Liverpool got 3 goals. You understand what I'm saying? Now we are seeing the match between Manchester United and Brighton also. Brighton are leading 1-0. if they actually want to win this game, they should come with a tactical, interpretation, brilliance to stop Manchester United from winning that match. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. But if in the early hours of the second half, they are able to add one goal, that means they will be able to kill the game against Manchester United.
Okay, I'm coming. You need to know why they call him the gaffer. It's not really about him coaching a team. It's about him analyzing and forecasting teams, forecasting victory, talking about the punters. He's a gaffer for punters, not a gaffer to coach. Not a gaffer for coaching. Yemi, we've seen first half from various encounters, talking about in the EPL, we've seen fantastic results. Two results looking like an upset. Talking about the game between Brighton and Manchester United. Currently, Manchester United are trailing Brighton 1-0 at halftime. And Manchester City currently trailing West Ham 1-0 at halftime. Is it looking like a day the Manchester team are actually going to lose?
Yeah, it's a setup that has been a very difficult fixture for the past few seasons, including Manchester United Brighton. We've seen a lot of controversial issues when it comes to the Manchester United Brighton game. And when you look at it, current form, because in football, current form is very key. And look at Manchester United. Manchester United is a team that's under so many controversies. Some of their players, they are not settled. You have the issue of this English attacker, Jadon Sancho. We had the issue of the Brazilian Anthony. And also, all the noise, the press noise concerning Greenwood. So it's an house that is not yet united. They are just called Manchester United. They are not united yet, as far as I'm concerned. So first, before tactics, before formation, you have to have your house in order. You cannot survive without it. So now, Manchester United, their house is not in order. And now they are losing key players to either disciplinary issues with the coach, or even scandals outside the football scene. So when things like that, they brought in Anthony for almost 100 million euros. That's a lot of money for a player to now be suspended for disciplinary reasons. So it's not united yet. Then going to the formation on the field of play, what Ten Hag went with is not bad. They are playing well, but they've not just been able to really get that clear-cut chance that will bring them back into this game. And we know Brighton to be a very terrible opponent. This current crop of players Brighton have, and the way that club is fantastically well run. The unity in that club, the tactical brilliance of the coach, and the backup of their scouting system. Look at how can you lose a whole big name like McAllister, and this guy Chelsea took from them, Sasaido, and it doesn't show. That shows the brilliance of your scouting system, and you have to give it to them. Or even if Man City wants to play this team, they'll play them with awareness. You can't play them as if you are playing a second fiddle team. And straight to the West Ham Man City game. We know West Ham to be a team that's pragmatic. What they want to do is the position they have Man City. That's where they want to put you. They are ready to suffer. They are ready to defend with their life. And they know what to expect. They know that Man City will bring everything to them. And they are ready. There's one team that knows how to play pragmatic football in this present-day Premier League. It's West Ham. We saw what they did to Chelsea. It's evident. We saw what they did to, which other thing was that, few match days ago. So West Ham is West Ham. That's how they play. This is where they want to put you. Man City will come out. We increase the number of bodies up front. And we try to switch one or two tactically. But I think West Ham can get something out of that game.
Okay, the gaffer, let's check out Onana. Fantastic season with Inter Milan last season. And we saw Manchester United go all out, come out with the money to go and get their man. And it's replacing a very, very fantastic goalkeeper. Talk about the Manchester United legend, De Gea. But this season we've seen Onana, kept 5 games for Manchester United, and he has just 1 clean sheet. He has conceded 8 goals already in 5 games. Is that looking like a start that, or should we just feel like he's just coming to the EPL and we should still, give him a benefit of doubt?
Well, for me, first of all, what I want to do, first of all, let's check those goals scored against Onana. Were they actually his fault? sometimes you look at the defensive error, most of the goals are defensive error. It's not as a result of him being a goalkeeper, probably not in the right position.
Being a corporate.
Yeah, being a corporate, not in the right position, or a ball that was supposed to stop, he was not able to stop it. You know, to me, he still need time to prove himself that is that best they brought from what is it, Atlanta, right?
No,
Yeah.
Inter.
Inter from Inter. Like that same best they brought from Inter. So he still need time. Because I sat down, I look at some of the goals, apart from the goals they scored during pre-season, that he came and was playing like he's a footballer. That is, you understand? He forgot that he was a goalkeeper, and he considered that goal. So, and since then, I think he has been so careful, and if you look at the way he comes out, he is well calculated, and he has not fallen victim of that same error any longer. So for now, let's give him more time before we begin to say, okay, he has actually lost it.
Okay, you can hear that from the gaffer. So let's give Andre Onana more time. He has kept 5 games in the EPL for Manchester United already this season. Just 1 clean sheet and has won 2 and lost 2 already. 8 goals conceded and just 15 saves from Andre Onana. The season is still very much long, but considering 8 goals in the first 5 games is actually not a very good. It's a terrible start from here. Let's go straight to the comment section talking about the live chat. We have Matt analyzing with IB Boniface. Someone just want Manchester City to lose this match. Someone just want Arsenal to top the table. I'm not a fan of Arsenal topping the table. I won't like that. And we also have Mika, who says Manchester City, we got this. We also have Khalid Maga, who says Manchester United 3, Brighton 2. These are good prediction, but judging from what we saw in the first half, do you think Manchester United, stand a chance of coming back in this game? Talking about Yemite.
Yeah, Manchester United, they stand a chance. It's 2 squads that can actually hurt each other. It just depends on how the players can actually interpret the coach's imprint on their game. So when you look at this, very important, what Ten Hag will tell them during the halftime will be very, very key to see if they collapse totally in this game or if they will come back. Because they really need more bodies up front. They can't continue like this and say they want to hurt Brighton. Brighton is having the time of their life defensively. The only thing Man you have in the attacking now is Rashford. That is trying, and De Zerbi will do something about him this second half. So Ten Hag too needs to do something because football is a game of the mind. It's tactical brilliance. So you need to understand when to and when not to.
Yeah, and in addition to what he said, Manchester United is a second half team. Most of their victories come in the second half. We saw in the match against Nottingham Forest, they were 2 goals down in the first half. They came in the second half, scored 3 goals and won that match. And in the previous matches, we have seen where Manchester United came back in the second half to win. So, and most time, I normally tell people, if Manchester United want to play, highest scoring half, second half, highest scoring half, and most time, they always get it right. So we expect to see more goals in the second half, but I don't hope that these goals will be coming from Manchester United. But if they are coming from Brighton, well, anyway, it is about the law, as Yemi will say.
Okay, yeah, that's from the Gaffer and Yemi. There's 4 more goals in the second half of the second half. Straight to the game between West Ham and Manchester City. West Ham currently leads 1-0 in the first half. Goal scored by Ward-Prowse, a fantastic midfielder. We saw him do that for Southampton. And he hasn't actually looked back since coming to West Ham. He hasn't looked out of depth. Same way Maddison hasn't looked out of depth for Tottenham. No wonder, Maddison was awarded the best player for last month in the EPL. West Ham won Manchester City 0. Is there any chance of West Ham, taking this victory in this game?
Yeah, there's a chance, and you really need to give West Ham some credit. When they lost Declan Rice, they just went ahead and just bring in a suitable replacement that is now better set-piece wise. Because Ward-Prowse, we know him for his set-piece brilliance. So when you have that kind of guy in a system whereby it's pragmatic, so you just need a Ward-Prowse free kick or a Ward-Prowse loose ball. You score a goal and you defend the rest. Now, Man City is a go down at the London Stadium. A terrible place to go down.
Yeah.
It's a very over the past few seasons, a really terrible place to go down. When you are down there, even if you come back to equalize, they can still hurt you. So they know how to make their home their own. So Man City needs to be very careful. If actually they want to get something, not just even winning, but getting something out of this game, they really need to up their game.
They really need,
Okay, there's another goal in the game between Valencia and Atletico Madrid. Currently Valencia had 2 goals up against Atletico Madrid in the 45th minute, and you can see the punters, they are currently, you know, nodding their head. I'm very sure they are not expecting that result. It is Valencia 2, Atletico Madrid 0. We'll go for a quick breather, and when we come back, it's going to be the second half of both matches, talking about Manchester United and Brighton and the game between West Ham and Manchester City. Of the encounter in EPL, talking about the game between Manchester City and West Ham. And we currently have the equalizer in that game. It is West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. An immediate response from Jeremy Doku, talking about Belgium, the new signing for Manchester City. He got his debut goal for Manchester City in that game. Immediate response. As the second half was starting, we got that equalizer for Manchester City. Let's say if Manchester United will be able to give us an immediate response in this game between Manchester United and Brighton. But that game is the Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Immediate response from Jeremy Doku.
Yeah.
And I saw you guys talking about Jeremy Doku when we were on that break. We also see him as a fantastic player. You know, the future is actually bright for this guy. And where else do you want to earn your talent if not talking about playing under Pep Guardiola? We've seen him with his debut goal. How much goal are you expecting from Doku this season?
Yeah, Doku, for me, I'm not expecting too many goals. It's just his team contribution. How, you know, his runs, the final passes to their goal puncher. You know, when you start setting goal limit for too many attackers, you begin to lose focus. When it's one man, then others can come in. But for me,
that's a good chance for Manchester City, but that won't be the second goal as that was going off the woodwork. And that was a fantastic one from Vadoy there. But it wasn't going to threaten the goalkeeper anyway.
And that's a wrong time for West Ham to concede. Now the pressure has
very early into the game. Very early into the game.
They are the ones that will be under pressure now, not Man City anymore.
So the game between Manchester City and West Ham is currently 1-1 in the 47th minute. An immediate response from Manchester City, and that shows why they are the current defending champions of the EPL. Talking about the Premier League, and we have Manchester United who are threatening right now. It's Rashford who is cutting into the balls with his speed, the equalizer, and that's the very big pass, but there's nobody out there. You know, I saw some comments after the first half, like some Manchester United fans complaining about Rashford holding onto the ball too much and not releasing the ball. Do you think that's one of the big problems Manchester United is currently facing?
Well, we will not say it's a problem, because now if you look at most of the runs, he held the ball onto himself. He was always on counter, and there was no option for passes. What do you expect from him to do? You expect him to run and see if he has the pace, and that was why he's used in that position. So, for instance, now this very particular move right now, there was no option for him to pass. What did he need to do? He need to hold the ball and have a clear chance to score. So you will not blame him for that.
Okay, there's an equalizer in the game between Freiburg and Dortmund. It's currently Freiburg 2, Dortmund 2. That game is in the 77th minute, and that goal was scored by Donyil Malen for Dortmund. 2-2 right now in that game, and Wolfsburg against Union Berlin is still Wolfsburg 2, Union Berlin 1 in the 80th minute. Leipzig has still 3 goals up in the 78th minute against Augsburg, while Mainz and Stuttgart is now 1-1. The game between Cologne and Hoffenheim is now Cologne 1, Hoffenheim 3, while Valencia has still 2 goals up against Atletico Madrid. This season is not really looking good for Atletico Madrid, you know. And losing against Valencia for a team like Atletico Madrid, do you think there's a problem? That game is currently at halftime right now. Do you think there's a problem, or do you think they have to sack Diego Simeone right now?
No, the last time I checked, the last game Atletico Madrid played, or 2 games before, was about 7-0 or 8-0. And that's about showing that they can still score a lot of goals. Valencia is one of those traditional teams in La Liga. They are a team that when you are going away to them, as a big team, you need to be careful because they can hurt you. Barcelona, even Real Madrid, they know this. So at home to away to Valencia for Atletico Madrid, down 2 goals, they just have to find a way to rally back because they are playing a team that can actually take all the 3 points.
Okay, yeah, that they can get a 3 point. Valencia is another fantastic team, one of the traditional teams when it comes to the Spanish La Liga. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Let's go straight to Manchester United bench. You know, I want to talk about some players, and I want to talk about some players that Manchester United are actually missing due to suspension or one thing or the other. On the bench, they have Ate Baidi, the goalkeeper they got from the Turkish league. There's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, there's Johnny Evans, there's Harry Maguire who is warming up currently. I don't know if he's coming up. There's Hannibal, there's Palistri, there's Alejandro Garnacho, there's Daniel Gore, and there's Anthony Martial. You know, not looking like the typical Manchester United bench we used to know.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the way the club has been run for a few years now. The direction, the transfer policy has gone through. And when you now look at, one of the reasons why they couldn't get, that's Rashford into the box with the wrong time. That was
the side netting. And we can see that every good thing for Manchester United has actually come through the Marcus Rashford's position. And you can say Oshland looking disappointed, probably was expecting a pass in that place. And that was a good chance for Manchester City also in the game against West Ham. You know, it has actually been Manchester City all through since scoring that equalizer. Ariola has been called into action, but fortunately he was able to keep his team, you know, going in this game. Good one for Manchester United. Do you think he should have actually passed there instead of taking that shot?
No, there was no clear pass. That was the best thing to do, but it was not just accurate. That was why he was not getting that goal. Because if you look at it, it was blocked already. Even the Manchester's who were trying to create option for him to pass, they are still far behind other Brighton defenders. So to me, that was a good decision, but it was not accurate. It would have been a goal.
I think that attack there, Rashford made a mistake going towards the blind side. As soon as he got into the box, he could have checked his stronger foot. And because that guy just kept him out to the blind side, knowing that there's little or no harm that it can do to them from that blind side.
Okay, we can see there's no harm to do for Manchester United from there. And still Manchester United 0, Brighton 1 in that encounter. Let's see what Manchester United will be coming back. They've actually hit the back of the net twice in this second half. Let's see if they'll be able to get that all-important equalizer in this game. It's to Brighton, who are currently in possession and currently attacking through me. Toma talking about the player who scored the best goal for last month, and it's to Brighton, who are in the box. Another goal! The second goal in the game between Brighton and Manchester United.
At this point, I'd like to say
I'm dumbfounded. You know, I don't even know what to say.
I didn't mean they had brought in Maguire. They would have pinned this goal on him. And honestly, we need to talk about how unfair people has been on that guy. Now, look at it. This is almost a Sokpo Otilo case.
Okay, so it's almost a Sokpo Otilo case. 53 minutes already. It's Brighton who double their lead in the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Fantastic movement from Toma there, you know, took on his man. Probably when they thought he was going to move into the box, he actually find his man on the box and creates out a good pass. Fantastic goal. Oh, Nana was nowhere there. There's nothing he could have done there for that goal. Fantastic goal from Brighton. It's Brighton 2, Manchester United 0. And don't forget that this game is being played at Old Trafford. Manchester United at home. Good body movement here from Grob. Fantastic take. You know, he sent the butcher to the abattoir there. There was nothing he could have done. He went to the abattoir straight. Fantastic body movement from Grob there, you know. Lost Martinez there. Good take. And you can see why the Zebri is actually happy about that goal. It is Manchester United 0, Brighton 2 at Old Trafford.
That's a beautiful result for Brighton right now as it stands. And you know, after the defeat from Arsenal against Manchester United, a lot of Manchester United, they've already opened a second book of lamentation, and they have been complaining about Ten Hag. You know, Ten Hag, who has been their savior all this while. They have been singing his praises, and suddenly is now becoming an issue of discussion whether to stay or to go. People are already thinking. I don't
really think there's a chance of them sacking Ten Hag. No.
You know, so what you are seeing right now, they need a lot to do in this team. They are not together. Like Yemite said, you know, they need to put themselves together. There is so much controversy in the team right now. And a lot of players, and right now as we talk, 2 players are already on suspension. Greenwood is gone. Anthony is another subject. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things happening at the same time, and it's a reflection of what is happening on the field right now. So they need to put their team together so that they can be getting the positive results.
This kinds of game, there's something you talk about. If you know something, you know something. The Zerbi is tactically brilliant. You can't take anything away from him because Manchester United is not playing badly. But Brighton has taken their chances. That's just the difference. When Rashford gets into the box, they know the only thing. Now, you know, I spoke about Man U increasing the number of bodies up front. If they don't, if the only thing they have attacking is Rashford, they will most likely lose this game.
But this is the same Rashford. Manchester United fans are currently complaining against that. He hold on to the ball too much.
You can't blame him. Rather than losing the ball or setting a pass, okay, who is there to support? Only Haaland in the midst of 3-4 defenders. The other 2 are already down on him. So there are not many options. That's why I said you need to increase the number of bodies up front. Number of players. I didn't mean when he was running into the box. There are 2-3 guys in the box. He can actually have options to pick from. So I don't blame Rashford.
Okay, I think we really need to talk about Bruno Fernandes, you know, impact in Manchester United this season. It's not really looking like the Bruno Fernandes we saw last season or 2 seasons ago. And you know, this is not going to be a good game for Manchester United. Losing this game, looking forward to their Champions League encounter against Bayern Munich. That is actually going to be a big one, you know, going to that game. And losing against Brighton will really have a big say, you know, on their confidence.
Of course, going to have a big effect on their psychology. Back-to-back defeat one from Arsenal, one from Brighton in the EPL. And going to the EPL, you know, it will actually affect them. But they need to come out of it. Just see the Champions League as the Champions League, where they come up with their best to. Otherwise, with what we are seeing here, if they meet a clinical team, they will be considering up to 4.
Don't forget to be here in the studios to give you the Champions League analysis, talking about the watch along analysis of the Champions League. We'll be here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to give you, we feed you the fans. We are always here with you, our audience, to give you the very best of our analysis. Don't forget to also subscribe to our channel, talking about Premier Sport Fan Center. Subscribe and switch on your notification to always be notified wherever we are on your screens to give you analysis. Now, don't forget the game between West Ham and Manchester City is currently 1-1 in the 57th minute, while Manchester United are 2 goals down at Old Trafford. The theatre of dream. No, it's looking like a bad dream for Manchester United right now.
Yeah, looking like a bad dream. The theatre, the viewers are in the theatre, but it seems most of the viewers are not happy. Maybe it's an emotional movie they are watching. Or maybe it's another...
Oh, that would have been another goal for West Ham. From West Ham, because Zuma who headed that ball, but Edison was at the right position to stop that.
And so, the theatre of dreams is fast becoming the theatre of lamentation. But we just hope that things change for the better for one of the most successful teams in English football, even world football.
Okay, don't forget the game against Bayern Munich is on Wednesday, while Manchester United will be looking forward to going to Burnley on Saturday in another encounter in the EPL. Brighton, but Burnley actually not in the very best of form, so probably they might get back to winning ways in that encounter. But you know, traveling to Germany to play against Bayern Munich is actually a very big problem for Manchester United. Even if Bayern Munich actually struggled yesterday to play a total draw, you know, against Bayern Leverkusen, but with Harry Haaland, with Harry Kane on their side, you know, this is a player that knows Manchester United very well. Even when Manchester United thought they've actually gone away from the shadows of Harry Kane in EPL, they are still back in the same group in the Champions League.
Of course, we have to give it to Harry Kane, and you know, Harry Kane knows Manchester United very well. He's in the Bundesliga, and right now he has been scoring in almost all the games. You know, he just came to the Bundesliga, and he's not teams that he's not even used. It's not used to, but he's scoring. He scored yesterday. He scored in the previous match, and he has been scoring. So if you meet Manchester United that he knows very well, like my neighbor, you know, we'll be expecting a goal from him too. So it will be very difficult for them to win, but they have to put themselves together to play against Bayern Munich, or they will be considering a lot of goals.
Okay, we'll be back in the studio on Tuesday to give you that encounter. And don't forget, the EPL continues tomorrow with a big encounter talking about Arsenal. We'll be traveling to Everton to play Everton at the in Mersefield, sorry, and the game between Chelsea and Bournemouth. Great encounters tomorrow, and trust us to be in the studios to give you analysis of those games. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It's the 60th minute already in both encounter. Manchester United 0, Brighton 2, Manchester City 1, West Ham 1. You know, if it's looking like there'll be a victory in this game, who are you guys aiming for? Who do you guys think is going to get that victory?
That's the match between Manchester City and West Ham, right?
Yes.
All right, it's going to be a tough one because both of them, they are champions of Europe. You know, they are Conference League champion and champions
past champions.
Anyway, but champion is a champion. You know, no matter how small it is. At least.
All domestic trophy in England last season was, you know, actually shared between the Manchester teams.
Yeah.
Manchester City got the EPL and the FA Cup, while Manchester United got the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And straight to statistics in this game, it's Brighton who have had the better share of ball possession with 57%, while Manchester United have been reduced to just 43%. Manchester United have the best total shots with 11 shots, while Brighton has 5 shots, while Brighton has 3 shots on target, and they've been able to convert 2 to goal, while Manchester United have just 2 shots on target in this game. I'm always interested in the total pass in games. Brighton.
And you can see Ansu Fati now.
Ansu Fati is coming in for his debut for Brighton. Talking about the Barcelona, the fantastic Barcelona midfielder. He'll be coming up for his debut any moment from now. You know, a fantastic player, but injury wouldn't let him be. And let's see if we're able to redeem his career in the EPL. Where else do you want to redeem your career if not the biggest or the best league in the world, as we famously call the EPL? 61 minutes already in this game. It's Brighton looking, relaxed. We saw Brighton last season in the Carabao Cup final, played everything, but couldn't get that victory against Manchester United. They did everything right, but scoring goals was their issue that day.
It was Newcastle that was in the Carabao Cup final with
Carabao Cup final. It was FA Cup semi-final. Sorry, FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
And we're all here, it was a victory for Manchester United that was looking like Brighton should have gotten that victory that day.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they didn't get that victory. But here they are today, 2-0 at Old Trafford, and they are not looking back. They are still looking like the Brighton we saw last season, against the big teams. They are not feeling threatened at all.
They are not feeling threatened. If you look at Brighton now, they've come up this season with a lot of surprises. Now they are one of those teams with 10 points right now. With this, they will be going to 13 points already, or they will be on top of the league right now. Because right now, as they stand, Manchester City is playing draw with West Ham. They are 12 points. So actually 13 points, and Manchester City will actually be on top, which goes different. We go different. So we give it to Brighton. They are really out this season. If they continue like this, they will go far.
If Brighton win this game, Brighton will be on 12 points. And if
Brighton is already on 10 points now. Okay, they're on 9.
No,
9 points.
They
okay.
lost.
We can see on our screens, Ansu Fati is here for his debut in the APL. Fantastic player. You can see the quality. I was talking about Manchester United bench. That was the reason I was talking about the bench. You're looking at Manchester United bench. You're looking at Brighton's bench right now. A team like Brighton is bringing in player like Ansu Fati. A big name player. It shows the difference. Okay, see Manchester United. Haaland will be going out. Unfortunately, he won't be getting his debut. And there's Anthony Martial will be coming in to try and salvage, if possibly, a point or, lead Manchester United revival in this game and probably take Manchester United to a 3-2 victory. Before I come to you guys, that was a turnaround in the game between Freiburg and Dortmund. Dortmund are currently 4-2 up right now, from going down. Matt Hummels got the third goal in that game. We've seen. And that game is in the 90th plus minutes already. It's Dortmund 4, Freiburg 2. At the point, it was looking like Dortmund were going to lose against Freiburg, but they were able to do a very big comeback. To come back from 2-0 to win 4-2 is actually a very big one for a team like Freiburg. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Yemi, we'll see the substitutions in this game. What are you expecting? We'll see Hannibal comes in for Casemiro, and we've seen Anthony Martial comes in for Rasmus Haaland. Haaland was expecting his first goal, but fortunately he has to wait till another time to get that first goal for Manchester United. This substitution, are they actually top notch for Manchester United in this game?
Yeah, I think what he just is trying to do is just remove one defensive-minded midfielder and put an attacking-minded midfielder. It's still, in a way, is a midfielder, can still do some offensive work, but at least he will contribute more to the attack than Casemiro. And that's okay, but as far as I'm concerned, he's making this substitution way too late in the game, because I don't see them coming back into this game. It's that the game is way. If they score 1-0, there's every tendency Brighton will score more.
Okay, there's every tendency Brighton are going to score more in this game, and still Manchester United 0, Brighton 2, and the game has been played at the Old Trafford, which means Manchester United are currently losing at home. And the game between West Ham and Manchester City is currently 1-1, and that game is in the 65th minute. That was a free kick from Rashford, but it's not going to threaten the Brighton goalkeeper. Talking about Stoll, a fantastic goalkeeper. You replace the goalkeeper, Chelsea actually got. Talking about Robert Sanchez, another basket.
No. This goalkeeper was there. He
actually beat Sanchez to the first choice goalkeeper.
Yes, and Sanchez too was sitting on the bench for him.
So your Chelsea went to get a goalkeeper on the bench to start with. Wow.
Yeah, our Chelsea did that.
Okay.
They must have their reasons.
And talking about Brighton substitution, Lallana was actually withdrawn for Ansu Fati, while Danny Welbeck went out for João Pedro. You look at the caliber of players who are coming in for Brighton. This is a fantastic player. That's another opportunity for Brighton, but Manchester United defense were able to cut their lines immediately, and actually, they are moving back into attacking. Anthony is not in this game. How much are they missing Anthony influence in this game?
He has just been substituted, right?
No, Anthony is
okay. Well, this football is sometimes make people talk from both sides of their mouth, and that's just the politics of the game. You have to do that. A lot of Manchester United fans, when Anthony was playing, they were criticizing him a lot. And at the point he's not around, and some of them are saying it is because Anthony is not around. You know what I'm saying? So where do we stand? To me, to some extent, he is part of the team, and he has actually picked on. They will miss him a lot, because if he was there now, if he was in this match, he would have brought some bites at the right side of the wing, and for that, it will be a kind of dragging the Brighton to that side, and by so doing, we are creating chances. So, and he's good also he's also good at the pace. He has that pace. He will have created chances here, but he's absent. So, a lot, they're going to miss him a lot. Okay,
they're going to miss Anthony, who was actually withdrawn by Manchester United due to that controversy of assault on his neck. Hopefully, he'll be able to clear his name, because assault is actually a big one. We saw that affect Marcus Greenwood's career at Manchester United. That we can see that Manchester United, Rashford on the field, shouting out for a penalty, but the referee is not going to have any of that. And it's West Ham. This is Brighton who are currently attacking, but Manchester United defense were able to clear the lines as soon as possible. And it's Manchester United who are back in possession of the ball. But we know it's not really about you holding on to possession. It's about the goal scored, and Brighton have done that, scoring 2 goals in this encounter. 69 minutes already. It's Manchester United 0, Brighton 2. It's off for a throw-in. We've not really seen Manchester United in the second half. They've actually tried, but the goals is not coming in. It's still looking like the problem is still there for this team. What do you think they have to do to get the victories?
Now, looking at the forward of Manchester United, apart from Brighton, that they depend on counter, they don't actually try, like, let's play passes, link up plays, get to the ball and score goal. They only depend on that tactics of crossing, and you rush for the run. And most of these teams they've already studied you, understudied you. They know your strength, and Brighton have actually come up with a solution to that. So, introduction of Odgelord, a lot of Manchester United fans were saying, "Oh, it is Odgelord. When the Odgelord comes, we'll see the difference." And Odgelord have come now. We've seen what he brought to the party. You understand? He tried, but it's not as expected. It's not as expected. So they should be able to create that passes within the 18 box to score goals. We are not seeing it. I'm not seeing any bite in the attack right now. It's not looking as if they want to score. And it's not because they don't want to score, it's because they don't have it. They don't have what it takes to do that.
Okay, they don't have the bite to do that. And straight to the German Bundesliga, where we've had some games, finished. The game between Cologne and Hoffenheim ended 1-3 in favor of Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim actually got a victory away from home. And Mainz against Stuttgart is the 90+ minutes already, with Stuttgart leading that game 3-1. Leipzig against Augsburg is currently 3-0, with Leipzig currently leading. Currently that game finished Leipzig 3, Augsburg 0. Freiburg against Dortmund ended 4-2 in favor of Freiburg, while Wolfsburg defeated Union Berlin 2-1 in that encounter. Still to come, we have Bochum against Frankfurt later on in the day. And don't forget to join us for the big game, talking about the Milan derby. Inter Milan against AC Milan at 5 p.m. It promises to be a big encounter. And tonight we still have Barcelona against Real Betis. That also promises to be a big encounter. Let's see if Barcelona can keep that big record of that big form going on. And back to the APL, Fulham has gotten the lead in the game against Luton. Finally, that game is in the 73rd minute. It's Fulham 1, Luton 0. And we also have a goal in the game between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. It's Crystal Palace who took the lead in that game in the 70th minute. It's
another chance, and that is a goal!
João Pedro! Goal number 3! João Pedro with a third goal for Brighton. Is Brighton going all riot against Manchester United? The theatre of dream is turning into a graveyard of tears right now. Manchester United 0, Brighton's 3 in the 71st minute. Lamptey is killing Manchester United today, 3-0 at home. Losing 3-0 at home against Brighton. You can see the fans.
And one by one,
they are actually going. They are going home right now.
They go. One by one.
Manchester United 0, Brighton 3. That is taking Onana. 10 goals conceded in 5 games. Wow. Average of 2 goals per game.
Okay, look at this goal now. Look at this goal. Onana should have done better in this. Right? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Lamptey, look at that cross.
Lamptey with 2 assists. You know, fantastic one for the Ghanaian international. If only he can stay fit. That's my problem with Tariq Lamptey. And you can see the take from João Pedro. Fantastic take from João Pedro there.
That was a full stretch.
Look at that. That was a full stretch.
That was a full stretch.
And that game is currently Manchester United 0, Brighton 3. And we see the fans looking frustrated and going out of the stadium. You know, in the 75th minute already. 15 more minutes, anything can still happen in the game of football. Manchester United can still equalize. But this Manchester United is not looking like a team that can get 3 goals. Or it's not looking like a team that can get 1 goal in this game, talking of getting 3. Hey, yeah, mates, I'm coming to you here now. You know, this is a team that lost Cucurella. You lost Robert Sanchez. You lost a big midfielder, talking about Caicedo. And they are not looking out of place, for Christ's sake. What is going on right at
and that is a goal for Hannibal.
Finally, Hannibal got that response. And let's see if it's going to be, a response galore for Manchester United. There's still a lot of time in this game. 75th minute already. 73rd minute, sorry. Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. Hannibal, reduce the deficit to 2 goals right now, and that was an immediate response from Manchester United, and they are back. Fantastic goal from Hannibal, fantastic shot from the young player from outside the box, and he took his shot with every power and every annoyance. And it's a 2 goals. It's a goal for the Manchester team. Bernardo Silva with a second goal for Manchester City in the game against West Ham. It is Manchester City who have turned over the lead there currently now. It's West Ham 1, Manchester City 2, almost 10 or 15 seconds apart, and we have Manchester City getting their lead, but Manchester United are still losing against Brighton over there at Manchester. Yeah,
they are still losing against Brighton. 3-1. They just got their first goal now. It's not looking like as if they're going to equalize, but it is looking good for them to score a goal in their own home. I think the introduction of Hannibal substitute in the 60-something minute, and he came in and scored in the 70. Just 10 minutes within his entrance, he was able to register a goal. That is a good one for him. That shows how effective he's going to be in this team. And he's an uplifter for Manchester United if they can put themselves together. I think 15 minutes plus additional minutes is still a good time for Manchester United to equalize, if they actually want to, if they come out with their best. Okay, we have a shocker in the game between Tottenham and Sheffield United. It's Tottenham who are going down against Sheffield in the 75th minute. Sheffield 1, Tottenham 0, and that goal was scored by Gustavo Ama. I can say the gaffer is looking disappointed because he has actually been a big fan of Tottenham. But Tottenham will always be Tottenham. But let's see if there will be a change this season. It's Tottenham 0, Sheffield 1. That game is in the 74th minute. We're in the 75th minute of the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It's Brighton who currently leads 3-1 in that encounter. West Ham are one goal down against Manchester City. That is Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. Turn around in games. And Valencia has actually made it 3 against Atletico Madrid. That game is the 57th minute. Valencia 3, Atletico Madrid 0. It's looking like there's no way coming back for Atletico Madrid in this game. No, I don't think they're going to come back. And it is sending signal to Simeone. Simeone is one of the coaches that have stayed longer in a team. He has been in Atletico Madrid, if not more than 7 years now. He has been the coach of that. I think it's time for him to switch. Time for him to try other things. He has been there and he has not won the Champions League. And it's rarely you see him win the La Liga. If it's not Barcelona, it is the Real Madrid. And it's not. So to me, he's a good coach. But he does not have what it takes. They don't have the money to buy more players like when it comes to the EPL. So he can come and try his luck in the EPL. Clubs that are ready to spend on players and spend on that team, come and show what you have, and I'm very sure he will be winning trophies.
And the big man talking about Tariq Lamptey is actually going out as has been substituted for Brighton. This guy has actually given a good account of himself, talking about the Ghanaian. And we can see also the former Chelsea player talking about Gilmore. He will be coming in at the moment from now. And the big results coming out from Albini, where Bender Insurance has actually taken the lead against the Algerian, talking about RS Bekene. He's in 28th minute already in that encounter. Bender Insurance are 1 goal up against RS Bekene in the CAF Confederation Cup. Where else you want to get a victory? The very best place for Ben Insurance to get the victories, get as much as possible goal here at home, because it's never going to be an easy ride when you go to Morocco to play against RS Bakeni. I'm back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It is Brighton currently lead at Old Trafford in the 77 minutes. 13 minutes of regulation time to be played in that encounter. It is Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. You know, it's looking like there might not be a chance of Manchester United coming back in this encounter, Yemi.
Yeah, it looks, you know, I told you earlier that as far as I'm concerned, it's almost a Sokwe Taylor case, because looking at it, Brighton are playing more comfortable than even the home team, Manchester United. And that has started since the first start. Brighton is playing like a team that even if they concede, they have the belief that they will still go ahead. They are not struggling in this game. There's no pressure on them. Look at how composed they are. It is Manchester United that's playing under pressure. Honestly, Ten Hag need to sit up. For me, as far as I'm concerned, when Manchester United went to get Ten Hag, I was skeptical. It was not. I was looking towards the side of maybe Conte or some proven managers, but when they went the Ten Hag way, I was just being...
Oh, another chance! Yeah! And that...
But finally, Onana could save one in this game, and that will be going in as a third goal for... It will be going in as the fourth goal or the first goal for Karu or Mitoma in this game. And that was a good run from Mitoma, and he took his man. But Onana looks big and looks strong there. He was able to save that or salvage that or stop that from going into the back of the net, which would have left Manchester United with 3 goals deficit. And this game is still Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. 76 minutes already in this game, and still Manchester United, 78 minutes, sorry, and still Manchester United doing everything possible to see if they can get the second goal or possibly come back in this game. Just do you actually see that, you know, materializing in this game? Do you see Manchester United coming back to actually get, you know, a draw in this game?
No, it's not looking so. It's not looking so. They don't have what it takes. They don't have the bite. Like I said earlier on, they don't have the bite. They can only probably get 2, but I don't think they can get 3. They can't get 3 because the one they got was just a sheer brilliance of Hannibal from outside the team box. He was able to get a clean shot, and that ball was so close. It was the angle close to the pole. You know, almost hit the pole, and it's a very, very nice placement. That was the lock they got in that goal. You know, so since then I've not really seen any good link-up play. I've not really seen good passes within the Manchester United fans to actually go for a goal.
Okay, to other Ekao, that was a good one from Haaland, but that won't be going in as a third goal for Manchester City in this encounter. Good cross out from Walker. But Ariola actually made himself big there. That is still going to be Manchester City 2, West Ham's 1. It's not really being a big problem for Manchester City in that game. And straight to other centers. Aston Villa still won't go down against Crystal Palace at home. That game is on the 79th minute, approaching 80th minute already. Luton against Fulham. Is Fulham 1, Luton 0 in the 83rd minute. Tottenham still won't go down against Sheffield as we are approaching the 81st minute of that game. While Manchester City against West Ham is in the 83rd minute. It is Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. Is there any stopping of Manchester City this season?
Of course, we are getting there gradually, and there are teams, they have not played the top 4 yet. They still have to play against Tottenham. They've not played against Manchester United. They've not played against Chelsea.
I still got Chelsea as a top team.
Yes, Chelsea is the top team.
Okay.
Chelsea is not that bad.
You can see it's just that they say your team is still a top team.
It's just that a lot of people.
They said our team is
I don't know why you are bringing me.
You know, like for instance, now Manchester United. A lot of people just count as if Manchester United today is nothing because they were defeated. But this is a very good team. If they put their selves together, they can still get the victory. And that is the same thing that happened to Chelsea after they got defeated by this same West Ham that is down by 2 goals. To Manchester City. A lot of Chelsea fans, we felt discouraged, and even those who were already having hope started losing hope. But me, I still believe that Chelsea will bounce back, and Chelsea will be one of those top teams this season.
Okay, you can hear that from the gaffer. He expects Chelsea to bounce back. He believes Chelsea are going to bounce back and be one of the top 3 teams this season. And don't forget to also subscribe to our channel. That is very much important. Talking about Premier Sports Fan Center, and join us tomorrow We still have more games to come today. There's the big one, the Italian derby. Talking about the Milan derby between AC Milan and Inter Milan. That game is coming up at 5 p.m. today. Immediately after this game, talking about this game between Manchester United and Brighton. We have in that big encounter, as it promises to be an interesting one between the two of the very best teams when it comes to Italian football. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. Brighton are currently in ball possession, and they're playing with all their strength and looking, very much relaxed against Manchester United. They have just 8 more minutes to go in regulation time. I've not really seen much foul in this game, so I don't really expect much additional time to be added by the referee. If there's anything in this game that's actually giving us a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, talking about the game between Brighton and Manchester United. It's Brighton who are in possession in the midfield currently, and it's Manchester United who are pushing a game at home. They've actually outplayed Manchester United at home, no doubt today.
Actually, yeah, no doubt. They've actually outplayed Manchester United, playing as if they are the ones at home. But, well, there's still more to be done for Ten Hag. Let him go back to the dressing room and try to settle. See, there are some times that you just have to learn how to manage people. Conte had to manage with Diego Costa to win the league before he now let him go. So there are ways you can go about it. You have to set your pride aside and look at the bigger picture for the whole team as a whole. So I just think there's a lot to do by Ten Hag. Because actually, for me, they need Jadon Sancho. With all these issues going on, they really need him to come to the party.
Okay, you can hear that from Manchester United actually need Jadon Sancho. And Sancho has been suspended by Manchester United, or he has been asked to go and train with the junior team because he refused to actually, apologize to the manager, talking about Eric Ten Hag. Oh, I really want to
that should be
Haaland finally scored his goal. Erling Haaland.
And you can see the celebration.
With the third goal for Manchester City today. It is Manchester City 3, West Ham 1. At the point, it was looking like West Ham were going to get this victory, but fortunately, Erling Haaland got the third goal, which might just be the confirmation of a victory for Pep Guardiola's men, who are yet to lose a point this season. It's looking like another season for Manchester City already.
And it's a good welcome back for Guardiola after the operation he went to do. And what better way than for them to welcome him back with a victory after going 1-0 down.
Okay, fantastic goal for Erling Haaland, who has just 40 appearances in EPL already, but has scored more goals than his appearance. 42 goals in EPL now for Erling Haaland, and 40 appearances. Fantastic one for the young Norwegian. When you see him, that's a fantastic striker, no doubt. Good one for Erling Haaland as he leads Manchester City in their 5th game. 5 games now, and they are on point to get, absolute straight maximum points. Does it look like another season for Manchester City to win the league?
It's looking good, but I don't think they're going to win it this season. Okay. I don't think they're going to win it. A lot of people will want to argue that, but we still have a long way to go.
I'm not agreeing that with you. I'm not agreeing that with you.
We still have a long way to go. This is match day 5. We still have 33 matches to play, and right now they're on top with 15 points. 33 points. They didn't lost any point. They started. That means they started very, very well, but they may not end it well. So we hope to see more of the game, and as it goes, a lot of things will begin to unveil.
Okay, 5 games already been played in the APL this season, and this is Erling Haaland's 7th goal already in the season. He scored 36 goals last season. Might you see him, surpassing or getting that equal number of goals he scored last season?
Yeah, based on antecedents, it has been proven that when you get used to a particular league, you only grow in your understanding of the league. So there's every tendency he can break that record again. That's if he doesn't have an injury or something like that. So with that, I think that record is under threat. With the rate at which he's scoring goals for fun, honestly, that guy is simply special.
Okay, that's very much important to say. Let's say Erling Haaland can actually equal or surpass his goals scored last season. He scored 36 goals in the EPL. But good record for him, 43 goals in 40 EPL appearances. When your goal ratio is giving you 1 point more than 1 point something more than your
Number
appearances.
of games,
It
yeah.
shows how good you are. And don't forget, last season the only team in this score against was Chelsea, and Chelsea were the only team in EPL that were able to cut Erling Haaland from scoring, and they can have that bragging right. And I can see Yemi smiling that Erling Haaland did score his team last season, but don't worry, this
That's
season
collect this
he
season.
might actually get that hat-trick this season.
And
they will collect.
And he goes scorer in the game between West Ham and Manchester City. Talking about the first goal, Manchester City equalizer. Doku is going out in the 86th minute. Fantastic game from Jeremy Doku this today. You know, he has actually given a good account of himself. And do you think there's a problem for Jack Grealish right now?
There is actually, because he was a mainstay in the first team last season.
But the goals weren't coming for Jack Grealish. You know the point. People were complaining about him. You got this man for £100 million, and it's not giving you this kind of £100 million worth of appearance.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he's giving them performance.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not giving the goals. He's giving assists, committing the players, giving free kicks, giving penalty, dead ball situation. So as far as I'm concerned, he's doing well for the team. Maybe, you know, in a team like Man City, you always want the extra.
Okay, in a team like Manchester City, you always want the extra, and that is why Pep Guardiola spent this lot of money, you know, signing up players. 87 minutes already in the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It's still Manchester United 1, Brighton 3 in that encounter. It's looking like there's no way back for Manchester United in that encounter. 89 minutes currently now, Manchester United 1, Brighton 3, and the game between Sheffield and Tottenham is still Tottenham 0, Sheffield at home, and Tottenham currently losing at home to Sheffield. There's an equalizer in the game between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. That game is now Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 1. Don't forget, Aston Villa actually spent a lot of money this season, and that goal was scored by Joran Duran for Aston Villa. Good equalizer for Aston Villa, and that is why they spent a lot of money. The game between Fulham and Luton is still Fulham 1, Luton 0. That game is in 90+ minutes already. Almost all the centers in England are at 90+, and any moment from now, probably in a moment of 4 or 5 more minutes, we'll be seeing the final whistles from different centers. You know, back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton, going into the Champions League on Wednesday against Bayern Munich. What do you expect from Manchester United and Erik ten Hag?
Well, this is a bigger league. It's a bigger league, and we expect bigger approach. You know, with what they are playing right now, I don't think it's going to be easy. Though sometimes a team may be bad, but due to the formation or the tactical style of the other team, your team may be lucky to get it. So you have to study the Bayern Munich side very well, and with the kind of flow. When you look at the kind of Manchester United style of play right now, it's going to be a tight encounter. But it looks as if Bayern Munich is going to take the day if they continue what they are playing right now. But they need to correct a lot of things. Use the right players at the right time before they can get the result against Bayern Munich. Okay,
that's very much important. They take the right time. There's an equalizer in the game between Bekani and Beda Insurance. Is currently 1-1 between RS Bekani of Morocco and Beda Insurance of Nigeria. Halftime in that game is 1-1 between both teams, and we are actually expecting Beda Insurance to get a victory in that game. But you know, when you play against the Moroccans, we know how tough it can be and how good they are. So that game is currently 1-1 between Beda Insurance and RS Bekani. Back to the game between Manchester City and West Ham. It's Manchester City 3, West Ham 1. Oh, Yemi, what do you think teams actually need to do, you know, to keep hold of Manchester City this season?
Wow. What I just need to do is, I think they need to do is increase their defensive awareness. And you can only pray and be ready to suffer whenever you face Man City. Because it is a constant that you will suffer. Because when you have attacking-minded players like this, they won't even give you breathing space to settle. So you really need to make up your mind to suffer. And that's very, very important. If you can hold them out, then you can get the 3 points, but they are really difficult to hold out.
Okay, they're very much difficult to actually handle. Talking about, wow, talking about Manchester City. We can see the goal scorer, the third goal scorer, talking about Erling Haaland. He's been withdrawn for Nathan Ake by Pep Guardiola very late into this game, and that is going to be a rest. Looking at the Manchester City will play in the Champions League, though Chelsea will be playing in the Champions League this season. And still to come in the EPL, we still have Newcastle against Brentford at 5:30. That game promises to be a very big encounter. And at 5 p.m. we have Inter Milan against AC Milan, all the way from the Italian Serie A. The Italian derby, the Milan derby, should be a big one. We can see Vado is also being withdrawn. Vado was actually withdrawn from Nathan Ake. And we can see the Manchester City defender is coming in, a fantastic player. That would have been the fourth goal for Brighton. And that would have been Ansu Fati's first goal in EPL. But Onana was able to cover that and cover the team from going further down. Good one. Oh, that was a good true ball there. And I think Onana, Ansu Fati should be doing better. He had all the chance of picking his spots, but he actually went straight into Onana's hand, and you can see the disappointment on the Zerbi's face, because that should be going to the back of the net, and that would have been a big morale booster for the young Barcelona and Spanish international. As it's the Brighton 3, Manchester United 1. That game is in the 92nd minute. We are approaching the 93rd minute already. And it's the Brighton who are looking like the more hungrier team in this game. You know, you are leading 3-1 away from home, and you are playing with more hungry and more passion than the home team.
Yeah. You know that when you are comfortable in a fixture, that's where you see these kinds of things. Now, the belief is that they can score more. And they are not wrong, because Manchester United has given them an opportunity to come and make their own home. So they need to do better.
Okay, full time in the game between Fulham and Luton. Fulham already take that victory 1-0 at home against Luton. Luton are still without a win this season, and they might just be looking like that derby counter we saw in EPL that season that actually found it hard to get a victory in EPL. But though you have to, with victory, the love, I know Yemite is actually a very big fan of Luton. Just to see them get to the victory this season?
Yeah, I think they will at some point. We saw Nottingham Forest go down so bad, and they still found their way up. So I still think there's time if they can use the time the right way. I think mainly the manager needs to be changed and to reorganize, bring in a Premier League manager that has experience, and you take it from there.
Talking about the newly promoted side, you talk about Luton now. We've not seen any victory from any of them. It's only looking good for Sheffield today if they maintain this 1-0 against Tottenham. That means they will be the first newly promoted side to get a victory in the EPL, and it's not looking good so far. We hope to see them at least, winning games too.
A full-time in the game between Manchester City and West Ham is another victory for Pep Guardiola and his boys, and you can see the smile on Jeremy Doku's face. It's Manchester City 3, West Ham 1. They came back from 1-0 deficit in the first half to get 3 goals in the second half, and it's West Ham 1, Manchester City 3 in that game. Jeremy Doku, you can see the smile, you can see the happiness on his face. Erling Haaland with the 7th goal in EPL this season, and it's actually, getting out of space and getting a lot of numbers. That game is already over. West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. And back to the game between Manchester United and Brighton. We should be heading any moment from now. That game is currently in the 95th minute. It is Manchester United 1, Brighton 3. At this point, there's no chance of Manchester United coming back in this game, no doubt. It's looking like the players are actually, waiting for the final whistle. Yemi, what went wrong for West Ham in this game? Going out of the first half 1-0 on top of the first half and coming back in second half to catapult and lose 3-1 is actually a big numbers for a team like West Ham.
What I think went wrong for them was that the point where they began to give Doku too much space to run into the box. And you look at that goal, there was no one to check that run. And they just went straight deep into the box 18 and had enough time to call that ball into the net. So I think they slept early times of the second half, and that really cost them this game.
Okay, and that is why Manchester City are the current defending champions of EPL. You can see it on the players' face. They are the champions, and they are playing like one. and they're not giving any team any chance, this season. They started badly last season, but this season it is 5 victory out of 5 for Manchester City. And you can see the coach, that is what it takes, that's the passion we get from Pep Guardiola. In the final whistle in that game, it is West Ham 1, Manchester City 3, and it's full time in the game between Manchester United and Brighton. It's Manchester United 1, Brighton 3, and that game was played at Old Trafford. Another lose for Erik ten Hag. You can see the disappointment on his face. Another centre where currently we have in a game is still the game between Tottenham and Sheffield. Sheffield are in the 90 plus already, and still Sheffield 1, Tottenham 0. Final whistle in both games. Both games end 3-1, but different fates. What's you guys' final take on this game?
Yeah, the 2 away team won, and they both won 3-1. For the bookies, it will be a good one. But those who went for Manchester United straight win or a win or draw, sorry, come back next time. Tomorrow is a better day, and it's been a wonderful game of football. End-to-end stuff, took the game to each other. And I think with the fans, the neutrals, we are entertained.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day of football, and we've seen sweet football, we've seen sweet moves, and we've seen a lot of players register their name, like somebody like Doku. He was underrated from that left wing, and that was why he had that chance to go and score against the West Ham side. And talking about Manchester United, a disappointing day for Manchester United. Even we know that I expected them to come back with the spirit of revenge from what Arsenal did to them last season. In fact, not even what Arsenal, the way Arsenal defeated them last season, it was something else. I never expected it. The last goal was embarrassing to the defender, and I expected them to come back with a full spirit of fighting to win this one, but their fight was not good enough to give them a victory.
Okay, and Aston Villa has gotten the second goal in the game against Crystal Palace. Late on in that game, it's Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 1. That goal was scored courtesy of a penalty, and Aston Villa came from behind to get a victory in that game. The game between Tottenham and Sheffield is now 1-1. Late in that game, Tottenham got an equalizer. A fantastic one for Tottenham, but they will still be looking forward to see if they can get a victory in that encounter. And that's about how much we can take on today's edition of on this hour edition of our watch along of Premier Sport Fan Center. Do go to join us for the Italian the Milan derby between AC Milan and Inter Milan. So we come your way again. It's bye for now.